Hello? What's the story behind Bean Dealer X at the top of the screen there? Well, you just have to be there. I cannot quickly summarize the legend of Bean Dealer X. He's an absolute beast, though. The Race to World last video is legendary. Oh yeah, Frank made that. Let me see if it got any views. It's going kind of slow, actually. I expected that one to have way, way, way more. To be fair, it's a 90-minute plus video. Yeah, I'm aware of how long it is, yeah. I'm comparing it to other ones in the past. Like it's very similar to like Undercover vibes. Yeah, I didn't watch all of it, but kind of had to be there kind of thing. Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe you can't put in video form what it was like to be there. Max, yesterday did you make your stream title no to answer our question whether if you were streaming or not? Nah, I did that on the last day I was streaming. Because I made my title Yep. Yips' title was Yep, and I didn't want to steal it. So I changed it to no. Are you watching the Oilers tonight? I am, yeah. I would imagine the build's going to be tomorrow, not today. Today I'm just hanging out. I heard there was some fun stuff. I heard Warlocks got fake nerfed. Heard there's been some more bugs. Dude, people are like real. I wonder what's the cause of the bugs. I wonder if it's just that Blizzard is making more content than ever before, so there's just quality issues with it, which totally makes sense, or if it's because of the layoffs. I know they laid off a bunch of customer service teams, and I know as far as I could tell, the dev teams were completely untouched. But I wonder if the QA teams got destroyed. QA was hit. They're hiring for QA right now, like a whole team. Well, it doesn't really make sense for them to lay off a team of QA testers just to try to hire them. I'm trying to figure out if they were affected by the layoffs or not. Max, your YouTube chat? Yeah, I do. I literally just... That was the last one that I read. Oh, my dogs are barking. I want to let them in, but I have someone cleaning the house right now, and they just mopped the kitchen, and if I let them drag their not muddy, but dirty paws through the wet kitchen floor right after they mopped it, I would feel really bad. What I thought what I thought happened was that Microsoft was gonna like hire the in-house or fire the in-house QA and just like hire some overseas QA for way cheaper. Max, do you have somebody else clean your house? Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't want to do that at all. It takes too much time and I'm not good at it. And I just don't want to. So I don't do it. It's a vibe. I believe Pirate Software has spoken out about people being laid off and talked about his own experiences while working at Blizzard. I haven't read that. Maybe I'll look at that. I remember reading one of those posts a while ago, and the person seemed really irrational. So it's kind of hard to listen to it. It is interesting to hear employee perspectives, though, after being let go of people that seem like they're reasonable and, like, talk about all sides of it. But usually the ones that blow up are the ones that just, like, make Blizzard look the worst because that's what people want to see, you know? Fuck big company. Noah Mirdrasil raced World First 2.0 yesterday? Nah, it's like the most recent patch and we're already geared, right? Do you think the end game of Delves is going to be a problem as you might need gear from outside of Delves to beat it, therefore not being made for the target audience? No, you could probably just do it with the gears. So there's 11 tiers of Delves and rewards stop at 8. So, like, the end game of Delves, which is just getting all your rewards from it or whatever, is tuned at a pretty low level for that audience. And then there's just stuff after that that's extra that's purely for, like, achievements and then unlocking the, like, 13th Delve or whatever. So, no. What? Game devs are not what they used to be. From Giga Chads, Turbo Nerds, choosing this job that required higher skill while less paying than other IT, to Rainbow Twitter clown game devs. Yeah. Bro, chat, you know, like some... Have you guys seen, like, TV shows or movies where people have superpowers? Have you guys ever wondered what your superpower would be? I think mine is when I see someone's take, I can tell if they've ever had a job in their life just by reading the one take instantly with, like, incredible accuracy. That's my superpower. I just know. Yours would be procrastination. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm a huge procrastinator. But also, that's just, like, ADHD incarnate. If you want to get someone with ADHD to do something, you have to make it seem like they have to do it quickly. Like, there's going to be punishment or someone's going to be upset if you don't. If there's no sense of urgency, someone with ADHD will literally never do something. There has to be, like, it has to get done now or before this timer. But then you go into overdrive mode and you're a fucking beast at it. What would your superhero name be? Oh, that's a good point. I have... I have no idea. I have no clue. Alright, I'm seeing if the kitchen is dry yet so I can let my dogs in. Because they're borking. All right, I'm back now. Sorry. Dogs are all inside. I have my drink. I have my glasses. I'm ready. Is there an American sports team that is known for always winning important matches by refs' bad calls? Maybe. I think just in all sports, there's like people who complain when their favorite team loses, and then naturally they just blame officiating. Sometimes there are actually bad calls, but like, do you mean like a legit conspiracy? Like you think that refs do this on purpose and there's like people paid off and stuff? I mean, that's all nonsense. I wouldn't ever believe that. It's really just people are going to mention popular teams because if they weren't popular, maybe those same calls happen, but no one would actually care. So people would have to watch the game, so it'd have to be a popular team and then happen a few times by coincidence. Like, how many times do you think people have left their home stadium after a loss? And they're like, that officiating was fair and reasonable. You know, like, it's just how people are, man. Chiefs get more calls against them. I don't think any of that shit's real. As someone who is not a really strong fan of any particular team, but very, very invested in a lot of sports. So I have really no biases either way. I just like watching good play. I think that's just a load of bullshit, all of it. Not to say that there aren't bad calls that decide games, but that there's any hidden narrative or like that certain teams get it more than others. There's one thing. I think in basketball, star players are more likely to get foul calls than non-star players. That's for sure. But that's not like a team thing. That's true for any team. Getting caught up on the potty C. Just wanted to say that the Legends of Runeterra shout out made my day. When did I last talk about Legends of Runeterra? That had to be a while ago. So you think that people can ignore their biases when judging? No, I think most sports fans that leave the arena and always blame it on the refs when they lose a game are speaking purely out of emotion and bias. Absolutely. I don't think that's even arguable. I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, the ref, not the people judging the refs. Do you think the refs can truly be unbiased? Yeah, it's their job. Like, with extreme accuracy, yeah. I would say, like, probably across all sports, like, maybe something like 99.9% of officials would be doing that or trying to do that, yeah. I think there's some home ref things. Like, I think it can be sometimes hard to make calls in a home arena because, like, the crowd is just how it's gonna react either way. Max, you were watching Bellular the other day about his take on the classes in a tier. They put up a podcast like video that goes more into it. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe we listen to that. Today, oh, I should just go live. But yeah, today I'm just gonna my plan today is just to exist. I'm not I have nothing planned. Tomorrow there's a new alpha build out, we would assume, so today we're just hanging. Cool hoodie. Thanks. Yeah, it's the one from the recent Team Liquid drop. Max, hometown refs shouldn't exist. See EPL football controversy. EPL football controversy. What is the dispute? How do we... Premier League rivals announces controversial deal. What am I looking for here? What? I think he's talking about referees. I mean, I searched exactly what he said. Max, you should... Dude, I like the shrinking cam in the starting soon screen. So, like, my starting soon screen's like this, and then I add my camera. But, like, it's extremely small. Dude, I can't even move it when it's this small. But, like, and it's just gonna be somewhere. And you'll just never expect it. Easy. He's talking about a certain game where a referee supported a club fighting relegation and he officiated a competing relegation team. And I'm assuming the conspiracy is that he was going to give that other team bad calls, or maybe he did give them bad calls, so people are suspecting it's because of that. I mean, yeah, I guess it's weird. Like, if you're a ref in a professional league, I haven't thought about this a lot, but I feel like you can't have any biases towards any teams. But I mean, I don't know. It's possible for someone to just be a huge fan of one of the 30 teams and they just ref every game, including games with them in it, pretty normally because that's their job, you know? But, like, I could see wanting to remove that aspect if possible. Max, Mad Skills, the door guy, has a V-Good video out about healers. Is it... Give me, like, some... That's, like, all of his videos. Give me like, a... What video? Like, what is it? What's his bit? It reminds me a bit of, like, this WoW dev plays X-Spec, and that's why it's OP this tier. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, I don't know, if you get into refereeing, maybe it's because you're a fan of the sport. And if you're a fan of the sport, it's extremely likely that you're a fan. Like, I'm the weirdest sports fan ever. Like, for me to consume as much content about professional American sports as I do and not actually care about any particular team is, like, I don't even want to know what that is in a percentage of 100 sports fans. Like what? Like 0.5%? Like, how many fans of sports do you think, like, don't have a hometown team? I genuinely do not watch games, and I'm like, I care about this team winning more than the other one. Maybe I like a player on one of them, but, like, my fandom is not based in the fandom of a team. It is the sport as a whole. I think that's extremely uncommon. So, like, most people, if they're going to get into it, are going to be fans of a team, even if they're a ref. But I think it's possible to do that and also, like, you know, do your job. Do you do a lot of sports betting or fantasy stuff? Nah, I don't like gambling. And fantasy football is just a huge meme. So I don't bet on it. I don't play fantasy. I just consume and watch for the love of the game, and I don't care about any particular team. I think that's probably weird, but that's what I do. And I don't know how to quickly describe that to people. Like, basically how I just described it to you in the last 5 minutes is I've had that conversation so many times. I wish there was a word to call that kind of fan while being incredibly accurate. I don't think there is a way to describe that kind of fan with like a word. Like, I wish I could tell people what kind of sports fan I am within like 10 seconds, but it always takes minutes because it's just so strange. A fair weather fan. No, a fair weather fan kind of implies that no, like I take it really seriously. I consume content for all of the sports I care about every single day. I probably watch more sports and consume more sports than most actual sports fans do. It's just not because of any particular team. It's a bunch of them. Most of the ways you could describe what I do make it sound like I'm a really casual fan, but in reality, it's the opposite of that. No, do you see what I'm talking about, though? Every suggestion you guys made is bad. Like I'm trying to find a way to explain to someone, or it's possible that there just isn't a way to describe it quickly. I'm trying to figure out a way to describe whatever I do quickly, and like everything you guys are typing wouldn't do that at all. Yeah. Fan of the sport, not a team. Yeah, but I feel like that doesn't when you say that doesn't accurately give the impression of like how much, but yeah. I think when you hear a lot of people, when you say like, I'm a fan of the sport but not the team, you assume that they're a much more casual fan than you are, and that's most of the time correct. I mean, either way, it doesn't fucking matter. What'd you say that Mad Skills TV YouTube video is about? Let's see. This is definitely not Mad Skills TV. Isn't that it? Oh, that's Mad Kills. No. Mad Skills. There it is. With the Z's. Healer role is changing. State of healing in Dragonflight and the War Within. Oh, that could be a good video, maybe. Yeah, because like when you're like watch a healing video, like a lot of his content wouldn't pertain to me. Like Resto Shaman Mythic Plus commentary, I would never watch that. Season 4 Beth Healer's ranks. I don't care about Season 4 at all. No Season 4 content. Don't care. Right, all this stuff. But this is interesting. That's a philosophy of healing in its place in the game situation, which I like a lot. Not this guy. Bro, this guy's fucking insane. I love this guy's videos. I think this guy makes like some of the best retail WoW content on YouTube. It's really good. It's just usually not what I want to see. He's got a crazy door in his room too. Crazy looking door. Healing is for a higher tier of person? Not from my observations. What is that on your jacket? It's just like a jacket. It just says Star Wars, and then it has the little logo. Lily? What? Okay. You want to know about my dogs? They're just being dogs right now. They're just laying down. Can we proc a Reptar Aruwu? Oh, he's not nearly hyped enough. He was outside for a while, so he's pretty tired. Is Lily a Great Dane? Yeah, she is. Yeah, healing is interesting. The thing that I find pretty interesting about the healer community, like I get raid healing. Because raid healing is like, I don't know, like here. Were we liquid or limit at the time? Limit, sludge fist, I think we were limit. Like, I don't know. Like, look at the health bars in like a raid like this. Like, from 100 to 0, it's like a fight against attrition, and you have to work together as a team to figure out where to put your cooldowns, which do way less than they do now. And like, you just have to figure out a way to make it work. And it was really challenging. Healing looks a little bit different than this now, but just the idea, like, I can see someone doing this. Like, I actually think when you're playing with 3 other good healers, I think this is probably the most fun spec to play in raid. It's totally different than DPSing and tanking. Like, you're like playing a different game, but like that game is super fun. Now, Mythic Plus is way different, and kind of what I say I don't understand it is I don't get how when you talk to healers that like, and you ask what they want out of Mythic Plus, you see such a polarization of what actual content they want. So like, let's say a boss or a trash pack requires you to heal a lot, right? So there's like, it's like a healing mechanic. So it means you actually have to like try to heal your group. Some healers are like, fuck that. I want to just be in cat form and DPS basically. But then it's like, that's what I don't get. Like, if you're a healer, what makes sense to me is that you have interesting healing challenges. Like the second boss in No Cut Offensive, like the lightning one, like that's a really good healer boss. You get a little buff in the intermission and you have to heal through like damage waves. That sounds fun to me for a Mythic Plus boss. But then like seeing Mythic Plus healers, and maybe I'm hearing a very small percentage of Mythic Plus healers and trying to make their point out to be more people than it is. You tell me that, but it's like they don't want to actually heal. They want to do as much damage as possible. But then it's like, what are you even doing? Like why the fuck would you play a healer to just not heal and to just do shitty damage? You know? Like, I just don't get it. I think something that's cool about Mythic Plus healing, because there's less like intricacy than in raid healing. So it's more like you want to efficiently heal as much as possible so you can DPS, and that's how you separate yourself. That's how you add skill to what you're doing. That I totally get. But that involves there being healing to be done for you to make that decision, right? Like the whole, like, I actually don't want any damage to happen, I just want to like fully DPS is like, that take just blows my mind. I don't understand it. But I've heard it a few times for sure. Max, yes, it's maxing 2 things at the same time. Well, no, I get the maxing 2 things at the same time thing. Like, I understand that. Like the difference between one healer and the next is like 2 healers, they each play identical classes and they play the same role. Everything's the same. And they're doing the same pack with the same group. And one healer just like full blast heals the whole time, and their group is alive and they've done their job. Right? And the second guy heals their group, but like only half the time and only when they really have to, and they've made more efficient uses of their buttons and their cooldowns. And because of that, they spent half the pull DPSing. In the second person's case, the group is still alive, and you've killed the pack 5 seconds faster, and you have like provided more value to the group. And then like when you add in Mythic Plus affixes, sometimes it means also like soloing what used to be explosive, or doing most of the incorporeal shit or afflicted stuff. So like, you know, that I get, the second one. But what I'm talking about is not that. That I understand. I'm talking about wanting there to be like no healing challenge. Like when you basically are asking someone, would you like the boss to have an interesting healing challenge? And the answer is no, I just want a DPS. It's like, okay. Nobody wants to be told by their DPS that they should have planned all DPS player defensives for them. Well, that's also insane. I don't think healers should... That should be on the DPS. Bro, if you're a DPS in a dungeon, you should be figuring out your own shit for sure. You don't need to have the healer to tell you when to personal. Like, sometimes it can be... If you're in comms, you know... Like, you can be... The healer can be like, hey, I don't have anything here. Make sure you stay alive. And you're, like, letting them know they need to use a personal or a health zone. And then they can respond and be like, I don't have anything. I'm in danger. And then the healer knows, with the limited amount of healing they have, who to focus, right? But, like, when you're doing High Mythic Plus especially, which is where that kind of stuff is required, you already know and have done 100 times. You kind of know what your cooldown rotation is for a certain boss because you know what exactly you need to live and how to have as many of those as possible. You can go through an exercise like this right now, even if you haven't been in High Mythic Plus. Do a little notepad and just make timestamps up to 5 minutes and then have a little timestamp every 30 seconds. And then just imagine if you will have more than 100% of your health taken away from you, like a hit that's going to hit you for 120% of your health every 30 seconds, and then just see how long you could survive if that was going to happen to you, assuming you were at full health when you pressed this cooldown. And you can see which classes and how long they can last realistically. And then usually if you can't make it through 3 or 4 minutes, those are the classes that usually aren't good enough for like high Mythic Plus, because you're now relying on externals from other people to be able to even live the fight normally, which is why you usually see people playing mages. They have a million cooldowns. You see people playing verse stacking rogues with feint, you know, like they can just do that. Because when you run into infinite scaling, that's just what happens, right? We need more trash like Ruby life pools and more bosses like Halls of Infusion. Yeah, like for example, pulling Thundercock and Ruby life pools. Like I think you eventually stopped doing that for mob count. There was like a more efficient mob count, but I think that's like a great trash pull, you know, like having a pull where you have to, you know, there's like big damage hits. The dispel kind of determines when that damage hit's going to happen. Building healing cooldowns around that and personal usage, I think stuff like that's great. That shit ruined healers in season 1. The civilian healers can't handle it. Well, then you kind of just go back into the other argument, right? Well, then isn't that just a scaling problem, though? Because civilian healers aren't doing 29s. If that stuff's killing you on a 20, it probably just does too much damage, right? But Ruby Life Pools was weird. Ruby Life Pools, the entire dungeon was like that. Like the first trash, the first boss, the second trash, like all those little fire elementals, the second boss, like literally every boss, every single pull in Ruby Life Pools was like a healer challenge. So maybe that was an example of there just being too much of that there, right? Good healers loved it, bad ones hated it. Yeah. How is it now? Is Ruby Life Pools nerfed at all, or is it also still farming people? Wait, I heard, by the way, that I saw this on Twitter. Someone developed an add-on in Classic that on your tooltip will like show you that person's Warcraft logs rankings and their... Yeah, dude, I think that's a bad idea. Oh, and it costs money? What? Why does it cost money? That's so weird. Okay, so so the only way that add-ons like that have value is when it's kind of uniformly everyone uses them. Like, for example, before they built in IO score in the game, if you were doing Mythic Plus, you used the Raider IO add-on. It was a given. It existed, but it existed as a community. If that Raider IO add-on costed even $5, forget $25, $5, right? That would it would just like it would ruin the whole thing. It only can exist by a bunch of people having it. So clearly the market they're going for are like, I believe, Mythic Plus and raiding group formers that, like, instead of having to go look up someone's logs anyway, they can just see it in game and they're like, hey, I can pay $25 one time. And then I can just have that, and it's like convenient. I guess that it's per month. Oh yeah, whoever came up with that. I mean, that is so ridiculously out of touch with what people would be willing to spend for something like that. That is an insane number. But yeah. Either way, I don't even know if something like that existing is a good thing. I think this game, people in this game care too much about stuff like that anyway. And I know that people look it up on exterior sites before inviting to their group sometimes. But I think having a little friction to do that is actually good. Like, if it was just made available for you for all to see, I think that just the vast majority of this game would fucking hate that that exists. Nah, trust me, people will definitely buy it. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I think that number I think that number is a bit away from what they're doing. It's just part of the Warcraft Logs Patreon. I mean, it doesn't matter. I will say there is a little bit of hypocrisy though. So everyone in the community wants add-on developers to get paid. I remember this. Remember when like CurseForge and stuff like that, like the whole thing why we were like boycotting one of the sites was because like one of them was trying to like take away earnings from add-on developers, and like they were pretty vocal about that, and everyone supported the add-on developers versus like the big evil corporate machine that was trying to take more of their profits away. But like it is a little there is a little bit of hypocrisy in people wanting add-on developers to get paid for their time and work they're doing. And then also when someone ends up charging money for one of them, they act like they're committing a crime. That's all I'm saying. I think $25 is too much. It's part of their Patreon. They can charge whatever they want. I just want to point out that it's kind of weird for you to advocate for add-on developers to get their due, but then also when they try to ask for money for their due, people are mad about it. That's all. What is it? Remember when Noggy made MDT maps for subs only? Everyone got mad. Yeah, I think if Noggy, I think it depends on the way you do it. So like if Noggy which he put a ton of work into that, and MDT is an incredible add-on, by the way, like super good. And just imagine he like just charged $5 for that as soon as he made it. It wouldn't have grown as fast, but people would have paid it to get it. Because like if you don't want to pay for it, you just don't get it. The guy put in the work to make a thing, and you want the thing and pay for it. And if you don't, you don't. There's no controversy. The controversy is giving it to people up front and people getting used to using it and then paywalling it. It's just taken differently. It feels like something's being taken away from you rather than any of the other logic I just said. It's like it's being removed for greed. He never actually paywalled it. Yeah, I don't think he did. All I remember is that like someone came into his dude. I don't remember this clearly at all. But I remember there was this, we have a soundboard of it. Like someone in his chat came in and asked like when he's updating MDT. because like the race and he just lost the race. This was in Castle Nathri, I think, and he was like, "Shut up, you little bitch," or some shit like that. And then like I think it all stemmed off of that. Like he was really mad about that situation. He's like, "Dude, you should fucking pay me to use MBT, you little fucking idiot," or whatever. And I think it all spawned from that. And then people were just getting mad at him for saying that you should have to pay for this, which, I mean, isn't an awful argument. Like, I don't know, in anything else in the world, if you created a product that people loved, that tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people loved and downloaded, if that was a business in real life, people would pay for that service that they wanted, or it would be free and you can monetize it with ads, which he wasn't doing, right? That's another way to make money. But like you would accept that and it would be fine. But because it's like the wild, wild west of video games, you know, you just don't look at it that way. Yeah, it turns out if you have a product, and even if you're making the right business decision or a business decision that makes sense in your mind, if you're making everyone mad at you and is going to hate you, they're not going to buy your product anyway, so you kind of don't have a choice. But I think in general, I don't know, maybe it's like against the terms of service. But like the only people who should be mad about the terms of service is like Blizzard. Like if someone's making a really good ad, like for this is how I feel personally. If someone makes a really good add-on and then charges money for it, I'm perfectly fine with that. Like that person they put in the work to make something unique. Like LVY, for example. If LVY was always a paid add-on, I would gladly give that person what it had been $5 now to use this incredibly good add-on for however many years, right? Like I think that's easily worth the money. Maybe you don't feel that way, but like I do, right? So I don't know. I'm in general, I'm totally okay with those people putting in the effort to make something and then getting rewarded for it. It just makes sense to me. What is it? Meanwhile, the DBM guy posted a sorry, I can't update this add-on anymore because I'm too poor to upgrade my computer and afford food and antibiotics because I'm a full-time carer for my mom, and his Patreon got hundreds of subs overnight. Well, yeah, that's good. I mean, that entire situation's good that happened, right? Like, these people are largely doing this out of passion and are unpaid. Like, I think they make some kind of kickback from CurseForge or something, but I imagine that website wouldn't have been bought and monetized if they were planning on the add-on developers making a ton of money. It's the people who bought it, right? That's how business works. I'm sure they make just enough to stop complaining, as usual. See, what did you say? I get like 1 million downloads a year, and you get like $50 from CurseForge. Yeah, I mean that's hilarious. Max, have you listened to the Fallout Lorecast podcast? Kind of addicted to it. It's great for the people that have gotten into Fallout from the show. Nah. I usually like show podcasts. Like, I'm a fan of those, actually. Like, if a show that I really, really enjoy has a, like, either produced by the same company who made it, or, I don't know, just a podcast that I really like that talks about each episode, I'm a huge fucking fan of that. But I don't care about lore in video games because it's usually trash, so I just don't listen to that. But like The Last of Us, for example, The Last of Us had an official podcast, and it was hosted by the guy who voiced Joel in the games. Troy Baker, is that his name? And he hosted it, and it had like the showrunners on it every episode, and it would rotate through like some of the cast or some of the people who worked on the show to talk about each episode. And it was fantastic. It was like, you got so much content out of every episode of television because you just watched the episode. I went over to my friend's house to watch the episode, Pobelter's house, shout out Eugene, and then we would watch the episode. I would think about it, and I would go home and watch an entire other hour to hour and a half podcast about that episode, and I loved every second about it. It was so much fun. They did that. The show Foundation on Apple TV Plus has a podcast, and that show's fucking insane. What was another one I will listen? I think House the Dragon has one too. Yeah, it is. It's like modern DVD director commentary, yeah. Have you not played any of the Fallout games before? No, I have. I've played Fallout 3, New Vegas, 4. I started 76, but I just couldn't get into it. 4 was good. New Vegas was my favorite, although I am afraid to say that online because most people who are New Vegas fans are completely insufferable. Like if you were to say Fallout 4 is a good game, which it is, like Fallout 4 is a just fine game. If anyone were to recommend after watching the Fallout show that they play Fallout 4, that is a perfectly fine suggestion. It's a good game, right? But like, it feels like you can't actually say that without some New Vegas stan just telling you how much worse it is than New Vegas. It's completely insufferable behavior. I hope none of you are like that. Yeah, New Vegas definitely falls into one of those GOAT game bad fan base categories, 100%. The fans are the absolute worst, but the game is incredible, yeah. Yeah, exactly. New Vegas is good, but people who play it make it their entire personality. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Like when Fallout the show first came out, they were like pointing out all the times that like New Vegas was mentioned in the show as if like Bethesda was trying, because it was made by a different developer. Bethesda was like trying to minimize New Vegas. And like put a slight to it, and it was just all made up fucking nonsense by people reading too much into it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the end of the show pretty clearly suggests that New Vegas will be canon and pretty part of the story. Just a bunch of fucking psychos on the internet freaking out over nothing. Ever played BioShock? I did. I played a BioShock game and really liked it. BioShock games. This one. I played BioShock Infinite. That was the one I played. I didn't play any other one. I played Infinite. I liked it a lot. Fucking weird game. I don't remember exactly what the plot of this was, but I know it was fucking weird. Like, just super weird. Man, you played the worst one. No, I enjoyed it just fine, yeah. Max, have you made your Kata guy yet? Guys, I am stuck in complete undecisiveness about Kata. Can we talk about this shit for a fucking goddamn second, please? Dude, I ever wonder what happens if people are listening to my stream in their car. Like, because the age of my viewer is like 25 to like 35 is like most, and then it's like 35 plus. It's not below 25. It's like, so we got some fucking dads that are watching this stream, and some moms. Shout out the moms too. Shout out women in general, right? So like, what happens when you're picking up your son from school and like you're listening to my stream like a podcast, which is pretty normal. A lot of people do. But then what happens when I just randomly say stuff like that? You know? Like, wait a goddamn fucking second. I could say that any other way where you wouldn't have to turn off your sound in your car because your kid's in there. You know? Which I guess that makes sense. It makes sense why streamers like go family friendly. They like learn how to talk without saying that stuff. It'll certainly increase your viewership, but to be honest, it rings as extremely fake to me. I don't know, like I shouldn't have to fucking change who I am because I want like more money, you know? It's fucking lame. I don't know. Like, every time I've seen a streamer do that, I usually just lose, like, hella respect. Like, well, not really. Like, I mean, it is kind of like a you do you. I don't think about it a lot. I just definitely give him the side eye a little bit. Just seems fake. Was this relevant to Kata? Oh, yeah. So, indecisiveness or whatever. So I want to play Kata. Kata is the first expansion in which I have actual nostalgia for. It is the first, like, end game hardest mode boss I ever did, Heroic Ragnaros. I didn't play in tier 11, which is like the first tier that's coming up. It was the first time I like absolutely fell in love with this game and became an absolute complete degenerate over it. And I do kind of want to relive that a little bit. But I'll tell you what I don't want to do. I don't really want to log on and set up a character. I don't really want to like have to level when Kata comes out. You know? Like, I don't want to... I don't know. I just don't really want to... And then on top of all of that... I don't know. I would need to find a group of people to play with that are not like Omega tryhard sweaty players that like take speed kills seriously and shit like that, but also the level of how good they would have to be would be enough for me to not be like frustrated. And ideally they would be some of my friends. And there's a couple of those guilds that people in my guild are in, but like those guilds filled up months ago with people that are like committed to it, and I'm still sitting here indecisive. So I think I missed the boat on a lot of those groups. So I don't know, man. I just need to find a group I can play with that will have a spot for me. And then, but that's the thing. I'm like 90%. So I really just need to decide that I want to do it. Okay, first of all, when the fuck is Kata coming out? When is it coming out? The 20th? So it's coming out... It's coming out on a Monday. Okay. Do you know what class you would pick? Yeah, 100%. I'm going to play Survival Hunter. Black Air Explosive Shot Survival. One of the best specs in the history of WoW. And it's literally gone now. It just doesn't even exist anymore. For sure, I'm playing that. Join Shroud. I'm going to play Diablo 4 with Shroud next week. But let me ask him if he wants to do D4 bad. Yeah, we're going to play D4 on the new season. All right, I'll tell you why. So they made a bunch of itemization changes. Actually, let me give you like the full context. So I really liked Diablo 3. I played it a lot when it came out, but like the game actually got way better over the years, and it was just like some fun thing to play for every season for like almost 10 years. Maybe 8 of those 10 years, the back half. And D4 came out and it fucking stinks. But like, if it can get to that point where it's just a nice weekend/week playthrough every season and it's actually fun, I would like that. There's a little bit of like it's actually been confirmed, right? That the teams making the seasons alternate like odds and evens. Like there's a team that made seasons 1 and 3 and a team that made 2 and 4. So season 2 was actually really good. So we're hoping that season 4 will be really good, where 1 and 3 were not. So it's like even, so the Copium is like even season team, and they made an insane amount of changes to the game that are good. The only problem is the end game still turbo sucks. This gauntlet thing is an absolute joke. But they like made hell tides better and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, just the process of leveling and making your guy better has been enhanced a lot, and I'm just like really looking forward to that. So I don't know, just like something to play for like 1 to 2 days or something would be fun. But it's like kind of like a last chance for Diablo. So I'm willing to commit that for it. Plus playing with Shroud and Lip and some people is usually pretty fun. We like to hang with the boys. It sucks that it's coming out the same time as Mop Remix. It's not though, right? Isn't D4 season coming out next Tuesday and Mop Remix is next Thursday? Isn't there like 2 days actually? That's perfect. That's like a perfect amount of time to play Diablo. That's usually when I'm done. Go hard for 2 days, get all you're gonna get out of it, you know? Yeah. Plus, I don't know how hard I'm gonna go on Mop Remix. I mean, I kind of already did it. Like, I did it on PTR. I don't really have a huge reason to do it on live, but it was really fun on the PTR. I wonder how many people will be down. Were Mop Remix raids a pushover? Yeah, the Tinkers were so strong that you just like blasted. We didn't have to learn how to do any boss except for one, Dark Animus. But like they nerfed a lot of those Tinkers by a lot, so maybe they're trying to make it more like I think the perfect balance should be you have to do the boss long enough to understand what it's trying to do and the general solutions for solving it, but you don't have to be perfect at it to kill it. So like these bosses, you should be doing them. You should progress these bosses for like 15 minutes a pop, right? That's like 10 pulls, maybe 5 pulls, something like that. Not 30, not 50. That's extreme. But also, I don't want them to die in 10 seconds like they did before. Like, I think it's cool to like actually identify what the boss was meant to try to do to you, and then kind of get good enough at solving it and then kill it. That's fun. That's like the perfect level of fun. Is being a professional streamer a reason to play Mob? What? What do you mean? We got a dog being a goofball? What's happening here? Oh, she is. What is she doing? Oh no, she might think that I see her. Was she just flopping? Was she flopping around? She do that. She liked to flop. Like, I don't understand what you're saying by that. You're saying, is being a professional streamer enough to do it? You're saying, like, if I'm thinking about doing Mop Remix, are you basically saying, like, hey, dude, you fucking stream games for a living. Just shut the fuck up and stream it. Is that like, the thing you're doing? Because that goes kind of hard. But, like, have you thought about whether I want to or not? I feel like that's important. It's got to matter. I think what they're saying is it only good content if you have a job where you need new stuff to stream? Oh, I see. They're like, is Mop Remix actually good content, or are you just saying it's good content because people playing WoW is important for... Like, you're saying that, like, as a streamer, you're more likely to say if content is good because you want people to watch it, or some shit like... Is that the general idea? Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever watched my stream, but regardless of the amount of money I'm making, which I make more if I stream longer, the millisecond that I get bored, I turn my stream off. like every day. Or I don't stream. Like there is no like I'm streaming and I need people to do things because like that helps me. Like I literally don't. I just fucking do what I want, and then if it's not fun, I immediately stop. So yeah, I don't think that would work with me. What is it? I played very heavily from vanilla through Wrath, and I missed Kata and Mob. I'm super fucking hype. Dude, that's actually what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong. But, like, when Wrath came out, like, all the way through Wrath was, like, this epic thing. Like, you played Warcraft 3, you, like, knew about the Lich King, and, like, the Lich King, nothing was ever possibly going to surpass the Lich King and how cool it was to be doing something like ICC and fighting the Lich King. Nothing. Impossible. So it wasn't that Deathwing didn't live up, it was that nothing was going to live up. Now, Deathwing, the raid fight, didn't, but I think so many people quit before that even was a thing. It was just the idea of Deathwing. And then Mop was like a total different thing. Remember people used to say like it was Kung Fu Panda shit? Like they were like, well, we don't like WoW now there's being Kung Fu Panda. You know, like that. Like that was the vibe, right? Like what I'm expecting is for people who quit back then in Wrath, have come back to the game and they have formed these communities of people that either they used to raid with or they found new people to re-experience that content again. And now they have those friend groups. They have those Discords. And people are like, well, you know, I was maybe only planning on playing through Wrath, but I mean, now people are going to be playing Kata. So I don't know. Do you guys just want to like see what it's like? Basically, my take is I think people who quit after Wrath because like that same level of not nostalgia, but like drive for what the story was trying to tell you is gone. I think they're going to realize how much better the gameplay got from Kata into Mop. With Mop being like maybe the pinnacle of WoW gameplay ever. Although I am interested to see if that's true. I'll give you an example. Before Court of Stars was brought back, was it this expansion? I think my take was that Court of Stars was my favorite dungeon ever. And then they brought Court of Stars back, and I'm like, this dungeon isn't that good. But, like, in Legion, it kind of was. But, like, dungeons have just got a lot better since Legion. So, like, I'm interested if, like, I have rose-tinted glasses about Mop. And when I actually play it, if I'm going to feel like the class design is better than current WoW across the board. I'm thinking that's going to be not true. In a lot of cases, it is going to be true in one thing, which is tanking. So tanking, I still felt like was the most fun in Mop because it scaled your healing and absorbs off of the damage you were taking directly. It made you do a lot of damage, but that's not the part. Like the part that I liked about Mop was that healers didn't matter for keeping yourself alive for all tanks, not just blood DKs. And if you played really, really well, you would live. And if you didn't play well, you would die, and it would definitely be your fault. And I loved that. A lot of people loved that. Tanking was just so fun then because you had full agency over your character. And I miss that a lot. So that for sure owns hard. But, like, as far as DPS is concerned, like, I don't know. I remember, like, multi-dotting Affliction in Siege of Orgrimmar with snapshotting. Like, I think it's possible, like, with dot classes that, like, dot classes were always going to be more fun with snapshotting. I don't know. There's just, like, more going on. Like, you feel less interested in your rotation when if you put up a dot with a bunch of main stat, if it just dynamically goes down when you lose that stat, it kind of makes the decision of when to put up dots less important. But like I understand why they did it. It's because new players don't want to have to focus on that. It's like kind of a little not unintuitive. Yeah, but I don't know. Basically what I'm saying is I'm interested to replay Mop and see if my opinions about that expansion hold up. That's all. And either way, it had some of the best raids in the history of WoW, and that is certain. I'm certain about that. They will 100% not release mop with the old snapshotting. 100%. Not even 99. So 100% means... So is there snapshotting currently in Cata? And Wrath and shit? Yes. Yes, snapshotting is still there. So what makes you so confident that you would say 100% of chance they wouldn't allow snapshotting in that? I feel like... Do you mean mop remix? I think, yeah, Dratnos might have a point. Best case is that person means mop remix. I think you're right. I think they're thinking about mop remix. Which they definitely will not bring back snapshotting. Mop remix is just retail in Pandaland. It's a lot more than that. It's like way different than that. But I mean, that's more true than saying that it's going to be like how it was in Mop, but yeah. Didn't even consider Mop Classic. That's going to be a minute. Isn't that going to be in less than a year? Or, sorry, a little bit more than a year from now? They've been kind of pumping out those classic expansions. Okay, he responded. I'll reiterate. They aren't going to release Mop Classic with the Mop snapshotting. I think it will be tuned / nerfed / adjusted. There is no way to tune it. It just either... It's a binary thing. It either works or it doesn't. There's no... Like, how would you nerf it? Like, dots do less damage in general? But, like, that wouldn't have anything to do with snapshotting. Like, even in Mop, it pandemicked when you snapshotted, which, like, made snapshotting a lot easier and to not have to refresh at the last possible second. I mean, agree to disagree. I don't think what you're saying makes any sense. All good, though. Here we go. What is it? I can't wait for the Mop 18-month content drought to relive. Yeah, dude, they should bring that back for nostalgia reasons. Just, like, keep pumping through all of Cata, have it be out for a year, go through all of Mop, but at the end of Mop, just wait a year and a half to release WoD, just so you could remember what it was like. Be such a vibe. Every week I'd be like, this is how it was. Hey, Maxi, your jacket looks sick. Show us where you bought it. Oh, thank you, paid chatter BattleNet Q. Well, if you go to teamliquid.com, they have a, I think this is where you look at this shit. Here we go. Yeah, Star Wars Villains Collection. And you can see Atlas with a mustache modeling it. He's modeling one of these things. Where is it? There it is, dude. Look at him. Look at him. Not open link, sorry. Open image in new tab. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. Look at him. Look at him right now. But anyways, it's right here. I think so. Did I already pass it? Here it is. This is what I'm wearing. Star Wars Sith hoodie with Aya looking sinister as fuck. Look at her. She's looking dubious. She looks like she's up to something. Nobody said that? They did. They did. A paid fake chatter named BattleNet Q. Wait, how many previous messages do they have in here? Let's see. 148. What's the most recent one? From 2 days ago. They have 2 messages in the entire chat. And it is question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Like 10 question marks. And then the response after that is, what you smoking? Ironically, that was made at 4:20 p.m. So, sir, what were you smoking? Dude, I was subbing for a hockey team that plays in one of my ranks. and they're like, it's mostly Armenian guys, and they're like 20, 21, 22. Anyways, I haven't spent a lot of time around people of that generation until I started subbing for them a few times. And this is all going to make sense in a second because it's coming back to smoking. Bro, kids vape insane. Like, dude, these dudes get off the ice and just start vaping. Like, they just fucking, like, instantly. Like, fucking crazy, man. Just a different world. Yeah, they're like an Armenian team. They even have like a social media presence. They have this one guy, Devin Druid, I think is his name. I think he was in 13 Reasons Why, an actor. Is that his Yeah, this is him. He's on that team. And then he has like a bunch of friends that he plays with, and I've subbed for them a few times. But yeah, they're a bunch of Armenian kids, and they just vape crazy. They go crazy vaping. What a show to be known for. Yeah, I haven't watched that. I imagine 13 Reasons Why isn't a rewatch. You know, that's not a rewatchable movie. Like, what are some movies that have gotten critical acclaim? I know it's a show, but what are some movies that have gotten critical acclaim that are like the most unwatchable movies after that? Oh, dude, I have the perfect one. There is no movie you guys could say that is better than mine. I'll give you like 20 seconds to think of a movie that got critical acclaim, maybe won an Oscar, or like was nominated for one, like an awards movie, but it's like the most unwatchable rewatch ever. Someone said Shutter Island. I think Shutter Island, one rewatch of Shutter Island, knowing the whole bit, is actually good as fuck. Yeah, The Revenant's a good example, but I have a way better one. No one's even said it yet. Okay, I'm going to say it. Bro, fucking $1 Million Baby. You guys know that one? Who was that? Natalie Portman? Who did... Yeah, wait, was it her? No, Hilary Swank. Yeah, my bad. Dude, that movie fucking sucks. And rewatching it is horrible. Like, they should shoot this movie into the sun. I think it won an Oscar. Did it win Best Picture? I think it did. Or she won Best Actress. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Are you crazy? That was a great movie. Bro, rewatching that movie, there's no... I mean, watching it the first time is fine, but like, I don't know. It's just not... You can't rewatch it. YouTube chat nailed it. Oh, dude, YouTube chat did type $1 Million Baby. Like, really early, too. Someone said Uncut Gems first, which is also not a very rewatchable movie, yeah. Dude, Uncut Gems is such an interesting movie. You're just anxious the entire movie. I mean, that's the entire point of the movie. But, like, you're just, like, anxious for him the entire time. It's a weird feeling. Oh, 1 second. Guys, my current, like, lady that cleans my house is an absolute beast. She's so good. I've, like, had a few people rotate through since I've moved here, and she is, like, 10 times better than everyone. I leave her massive tips. She is so good. She, like, fucking organizes shit. Incredible. Shout out Lydia. I've been watching some vids on Destiny 2 and I'm itching to get into it. How was your experience with it not too long ago? Um, so my opinion on Destiny 2 is it has like I think if you go into it with friends and you do the new raid content when it comes out and like try to figure it out on your own, that has been really fun. But like I think the base game of Destiny 2 is fucking dog shit. Like the gearing system, maybe they've made some changes since the last time I played it, which was like 6 months ago, I think, maybe a year ago. Uh yeah, I don't know, like it just seems like such a bad repetitive game. There's like random armor from old raids that you can keep upgrading. Like really what they should have done in Destiny is they should have had full resets where you got to like re-gear every season. But they tried to do that one time and probably at the wrong time, and their entire community revolted against it. And now they're just stuck with every gun that's ever existed. It just gets upgraded to the current thing. So the meta is always the same. The guns are always the same. The builds are always the same. And it's just peak boring, and it's impossible to get into for a new player. They just made a ton of really bad decisions at the sake of their hands of their community. And it's pretty unplayable. But I'll tell you what, if you want to have the most fun with Destiny 2, and you have the money to spend on it for this, because it's kind of a big investment for a small period of time, but play that game for like 2 weeks when an expansion comes out, clear the new raid content, quit. Instantly quit. Never even think about logging in again until the next bit of content comes out, and I think that's fun. But playing it any more than that is fucking psycho behavior. Bro, I promise that you're wrong on a lot of those points. Bro, that was my opinion. You're telling me that shit was just wrong? What the fuck you mean? Here we go. Hey, Max. I'm new to WoW and your stream, and I see you're playing World of Warcraft in the Twitch category, but this picture hasn't appeared in my gameplay yet. Is this something I missed? Is this endgame? This is super endgame. It's the beginning of the new game that hasn't even come out yet, but in picture form. It's fucking hype. I will say Destiny 2 does have something really in common with WoW. Where, in fact, I think it maybe is even worse in Destiny 2, but like they have this long-term, they have a bunch of players who like play that game and no other game. But like the game is way less supported, and like they just fucking hate the developers of the game, and they think the game is shit, but they just keep playing it, and they just live through that vicious cycle constantly. Like Destiny has those kind of players too. They're like all living in the misery, and they constantly consume content that shits on the game to like validify their feelings of how bad it is, and then they just continue doing that instead of doing the very, very reasonable thing, which is stop. You know? Much like WoW players. Validify. Yeah, I did rip a validify there. Is that a word? Word check, word check, word check. Validify. To validate. I mean, this is... I'm thinking it's a word, boys. I said a word! Let's go! Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's fucking go. Max, I feel like Destiny 2 fans take it to the absolute extreme. They brigaded and death threaded one designer so much they had to completely change how devs interact with the community. That seems really familiar, actually. That's weird. Almost like how people did with the Skarn developer in WoW, accusing him of like making the change after his guild killed it, even though I know for a fact that that timing of that change had nothing to do with the person who actually did it themselves, who made the change. is made by someone else. People were following him in different Twitch chats, and if they ever saw him type, they would just tell him to like fuck off and kill himself or whatever, and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah. Fucking insane. Literally his first boss he ever made. None of you have made mistakes at your job. Ever. But kill yourself, dev guy. Wait, Wiktionary? Wait, you guys are saying you're questioning my source of saying of whether I said it. Wait, validify. Guys, what dictionary do you guys? Are you guys Merriam-Webster merchants? All right. Merriam-Webster Andes. Here we go. Oh no, is it not in Merriam-Webster? Oh fuck, I'm about to be anti-Merriam-Webster. I'm about to just say anything from this website is fake news. Bro, I don't think it's a word. Then why was it on Wiktionary? Maybe because Wiktionary is fake news. What about what's another non-dog shit dictionary, chat, that says validify is a word? Actually, let's just fucking type into Google. Is validify a word? Wikipedia. Well, this is Wiktionary again. But this could be fake news. Oxford? Okay, validify. Oxford. Validation noun. Does it say validify? Control F validify. Oh boys, we don't even have one entry here. This is looking bad. Because if it was only one dictionary that didn't confirm my beliefs, I could just say that it's all fake and that the website is bad. But if it's both of them, though. See, the only problem is all of these Oxford reference websites all say this small thing where it's missing the word that I searched for in general, right? Wait, go back. It's over. Nearby words. Valid, validate, validation, validity, validly? Validly? Validly. Dude, valid looked so weird. I'm actually surprised validly is a word. Scrabble says that the word validify is not valid to be played. Alright, fuck, I lose then. Scrabble's the OG. Fuck me, chat. Okay, but maybe we're trendsetters. Question. Anytime someone has made a word, was it in the dictionary before they made it? No. We've got to say it and then make other people say it until these fucking dumbass dictionaries get caught up with the times. Literally all words are made up, chat. Just say validate. That's the easy way out of this, but I think the decision I'm going to make is that I'm going to die on this hill forever. Yeah, validate is just so basic. Validify, oh, you sound like a fucking genius. You know what I mean? Yeah, didn't Shakespeare make up all kinds of... Okay, well, Shakespeare made some dumbass words, though. Shakespeare... Dumb words. Like, Shakespeare was out there, chat. Shakespeare was spewing nonsense, by the way. Where can I just look at, like, Shakespeare English? Millionaire streamer compares himself to... I'm not comparing myself to him. I'm just saying that Shakespeare, often admired for his great works, also should be equally flamed for his ridiculous words that he was saying. I mean, just pure nonsense. Not that I could do any better, but we all just make it through our days by hating on other people. And that's what we're going to do right now. 39 famous and funny Shakespeare insults. Your abilities are too infant-like for doing much alone. Wait, that kind of goes hard as fuck. Who did he say that to? Bro, that is... Bro, can you imagine if someone fucking said that to you? Like, as an adult? Holy shit. Okay. She hath more hair than wit, and more faults than hairs, and more wealth than faults. Jesus. Thou sodden-witted lord, thou hast no more brain than I have in mine elbows. Holy shit. Your brain is as dry as the remainder biscuit after voyage. Jesus. Don't have no clue what a remainder biscuit is. Oh, this is a classic. He has not so much brain as earwax. I've ripped that in my day. You do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. See that? Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is nonsense. But people are like, oh, Shakespeare, oh. This is nonsense. Right? Insulting a useless person. That kiss is as comfortless as frozen water to a starved snake. Jesus. Okay, none of these are even that bad. I am sick when I do look on thee. Bro, I get sick just by looking at you. Thou art as fat as butter. Her face is not worth sunburning. Bro, Shakespeare is a fucking demon, man. Dude, some of you guys in chat are sanguine cowards. If it's sanguine week, you don't even log in. Think about that. You're like, in your mind, you're like, I'm not going to play the game when it's not fun. But it is low-key coward behavior. Because you're shying at the sign of difficulty. You know what I mean? You're kind of a fucking coward, you know? Max, if you go back, there was a link for words that he made up. List of words Shakespeare invented. Wait, he invented assassination? Baseless? Countless? Oh, okay. There's a lot of, like, regular-ass words here. Dude, Shakespeare was such a trendsetter that he, like, before he existed, just no one was saying any of this shit? Okay. Actually, if we're going to accurately talk about Shakespeare here, what did people call roads? Okay, besides that. Sorry, I just saw road in there. Paths? Oh, yeah, road is so much better than paths. That's some old shit for sure. This is what I'm saying, chat. Like, you can say words and you can just make them a thing. Like Shakespeare. Laughable. Okay, but, like, I feel like what they put here was the greatest hits. Like, is Shakespeare really cool and smart? Maybe. Or was he just some maniac just saying fucking random shit and then just like 1% of them were good words and 99% of them were absolute fucking nonsense? You know, right? Scroll down. Yeah, like give me some words that were fucking stupid. Yeah, this guy was the original yapper. He's just saying shit. Where's... Okay, here we go. And it's your complete Shakespeare dictionary, which lists hundreds of commonly used Shakespeare words that aren't so common today, along with a simple definition. Please let us know in the comments at the bottom of the page. Well, so nothing's here. Let me just type Shakespeare dictionary. How did we get here, by the way? Was it because I said validify and it wasn't a word? That is how we got here. All right, well, we're here, so... Shakespeare dictionary. Shakespeare words. Yeah, here we go. Just give me a young glossary. Do we have to look by letter? Okay, not starting out strong. Nah. I would need a greatest hits of all the stupid fucking words he said that no one repeated because they were so dumb. Because if you guys can't tell, the angle I'm going for here is that Shakespeare's overrated. But like until I need to find a website of someone that is dedicated to pointing out that Shakespeare is a fucking fraud. And then I can take some of their findings and be like, you know, look at these stupid ass words. I'm going to die on this hill, man. This is what happens when you just can't be wrong, you know? Like, I could have just said 20 minutes ago that validify wasn't a word and that we're just going to move on, take your L's and just move. But instead, it's that, well, other people have just said words and then they became words after that. And then somehow that's transformed into Shakespeare is a fraud. Which he fucking is, chat. We just got to look at some of these dumbass words. Let's go. Let's get in here. Wait, look at stupid Shakespeare and his flat earth. Was he a flat earther? Oh my god, this is crazy for my argument. Please be a flat earther. Oh my god. I am dying for some stuff here. I need some ammo. I need some ammo. All right, 1 second, chat. Quick poll just to see how successful I've been. Poll. Was Shakespeare a fraud? Yes or no? Here we go. Little 1 minute poll in chat real quick. All right, we're fucking okay. It's mostly no's. It's a surprisingly large amount of yeses though. Let's go. Fuck that guy. Let's go. What is it? Contrary to public belief, Shakespeare did not really invent words in the sense that he, for example, decided he needed a word that means cow, but with 4 syllables. So out of his imagination, he came up with the word grabo-filibert. Wait, is that a Shakespeare word? Because that's nonsense. Rather, he adapted old words by fitting them with prefixes and suffixes or by combining them to give them a new sense. That doesn't help my theory at all. Come on, guys. We're so close. Just slam a few more yeses at the end. Just a few more yeses, and that motherfucker will be a fraud forever. Come on. Come on, chat. Last second yeses. Let's get it popping here. Oh, it's okay. The answer was no. Fucking goddamn it. So, wait. Sorry. Rather, Shakespeare... He adapted old words by fitting them with prefixes and suffixes or by combining them to give them a new sense. So exactly what I did with validify then. You just fucking made my point for me. They call me young Shakespeare. Holy shit. Someone fucking call Merriam-Webster. I got a word. I got a new one. Mac is a fraud? Well, no. Listen, if we're on the sense that I am right in the validify thing, we're gonna back off the Shakespeare is a fraud thing. That doesn't fit our narrative. Shakespeare is a genius, and I'm just the next one. Some Lisan Al-Gaib kind of shit. It's all about forming your narrative, chat. Remember that. What did Shakespeare look like? know what I was expecting to get out of this, because whenever you look at what someone looked like in the year 15 something, or like they just looked exactly the same. They're just like a painting of them, and they just look like a guy that's like probably balding a bit. Same forehead as you. What do you guys say? Guys, it doesn't look like me at all. First of all, I'm not balding. I got a full ass head of hair. That's number one. Number two, okay, the beard's kind of similar, except he doesn't have good connection right here. It's some real bitch shit from him. Let me... Hairline's the same. No, it's not the same, chat. It's just simply... You just simply can't look at that hairline and just be like, that's like your hairline. It's just simply not. Mine's like here. This is not true. Max, are your ears pierced? Nah. Wait, people were getting their ears pierced all the way back then? Was that like stylish? Dude, I remember when I was a kid, I was thinking about getting my ears pierced, and then like I was in 6th grade, and a bunch of my classmates said that getting your ear pierced made you gay as fuck. And I don't know if... So I just never did. They were like, if you get your right ear pierced, it's chill, but like if you get your left one, you're just fucking gay. I was like, well, I mean, I don't... Like, which one is it? But like both is fine, I guess. Did you guys remember that as kids? I heard that for sure. And dude, when you were in middle school, being called gay was like, when was I in middle school? 2006 or 5? That was like the worst. That was like the biggest slander you could have possibly received back then. That was not good. The times have changed. Times have changed, have they? I think so. I mean, maybe kids now are still the same, but I think as an adult, times have changed from where they were there for sure. "2006, you're a literal child." That's what I'm saying, and you guys call me old. I'm like just barely in my 30s, like just at the fucking beginning, you know? I don't got any like aches and pains yet. Meanwhile, you guys are like, you're ancient, you're so fucking old, bro. But really, I'm extremely young with no O. Extremely young. Middle school in 2005 and 6. God, I'm so much older than I thought. I was a full-grown adult by then with a job literally in the mines. Wait, you worked like in the mines actually? Okay, question. Is there a job that goes harder than being an actual miner? I don't know if that's true. Like that's like if you were to rank jobs by like, would you try to fuck with that person? I'm pretty sure miner is like, I would never ever do that. Like I would die. Oil rigs are wild too. Oh, aren't oil rigs are crazy, right? Don't you leave for like months at a time? But I think you make like pretty good money though, right? You make really good money. Is it dangerous though? Is working on an oil rig dangerous? Oh, the online magazine Industry Safety and Hygiene News, which is, by the way, let's let's talk about a niche magazine. Like, how many subscribers to industry safety and hygiene news do you think that? I mean, that's got to be a very, very specific audience. Lists oil rig workers as the third most dangerous profession. The energy industry comes with many risks. Out on the water, you are far from help. Minor missteps often expand into serious disasters. Okay, what's the most dangerous? The 4 top dangers that hurt oil rig workers are heavy equipment malfunctions. Could have guessed that. Toxic pollution and hazardous chemical exposure. Catastrophic fires from flammable materials and extreme weather conditions. Oh, yeah. So, like, if you get hurt, I'm sure they have, like, a medical thing on site, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe that's why you get paid so much. Well, yeah, what's the most dangerous? I'm trying to figure out what the most dangerous job is. Is it working at a Wendy's past, like, midnight? Here we go. Online magazine, industry, safety, news, and hygiene lists. Lists. Most dangerous jobs. National Safety Council. Most dangerous industries, injury facts. Sure. Give me a list. This is a different thing. Also, these lines are like, what the fuck is going on here? Okay, oh, it's deaths. Death rate per 10,000 100,000 workers, non-fatal. Nah, the lines, that looks like something I drew on paint. Top 25 most dangerous jobs in the U.S. Here we go. 1, logging workers. Fatal injury rate, 111 per 100,000. 56 in a year, and with a really low salary. Aircraft pilots and flight engineers. Huh? That's really surprising, actually. I don't understand this at all. Aircraft pilots navigate, ensuring the aircraft is balanced. The majority of aircraft pilot fatalities occur in crashes of privately owned planes and helicopters rather than on regularly scheduled commercial jet aircraft. Okay. But second, though? At least they make more money. You are, like, just barely more likely to die, but you make 3 times the money. Would you guys do it? You're looking purely in America? Oh, yeah, true. I mean, this is it. Derrick operators in oil, gas, and mining. So this is oil rigs, gas, mining all together. So still third. Yeah, shout out mining. Roofers, garbage. What? What? Whoa. That is insanely... How? You're telling me it is just based on deaths alone, probably injuries are way more in these, but like you're more likely to die as you're almost twice as likely to die as a garbage collector than you are someone who's working on an oil rig. I guess people are just terrible drivers. Also known as garbage collectors... Yeah. The most common cause of death for these workers is being struck by a garbage truck or other vehicle. It has to just be getting hit in traffic, right? Most incidents happen at the dump. My brother-in-law works for waste collection. Big true. Iron workers, okay. Delivery drivers. Oh, that's like not like food delivery. Like, yeah. I see. Farmers. I got that. Firefighting. Yeah, firefight. Got it. Power lines. Agricultural. Crossing guards. Crane operators. Construction helpers. Landscaping supervisors. Highway maintenance workers. I was expecting that to be way higher, by the way. There was only 14 people who died as someone who was working on a highway in an entire year in America. That number seems extremely low. I feel like that's so fucking dangerous. Just people are awful drivers, you know? Okay, anyways, we're almost done with this. I just want to browse. Police officers, surprised that's not way higher. Maintenance workers, construction, mining operation. All right, cool. All right, let's go. So Shakespeare's a fraud. Unless I'm the new one. Max, has any bounty received more value from you than Men's Warehouse? Wait, are you talking about this thing? How, like, Khadgar has the, like, Men's Warehouse. But you can't even tell it's a Men's Warehouse ad. But that is probably true. No, so here's... So every time I do a sponsored stream, I have to, like, put a Twitch banner in my stream. So, like, right here. Is there any recent one? Okay, so... Okay, well, maybe or Frank removed it this time. But usually what I did... Before I got management that did all that shit for me, like, tweet shit for me and do all this... Shit, like, I would, like, do, like, I don't know. Let's just say I did, like, a Raid Shadow Legends ad. I would just leave the banner here for that for, like, 6 months until I did another one and I remembered to remove it. So it'd probably be one of those. Frank equals Frank? No, different guy. Frank is my editor. Frank is my manager. They hate each other, by the way. Mostly because of the, like, how close their names are. Do you have an agent? Yeah, his name's Travis. He also hates Frank. It's just same thing with Dratnos. Just Frank does not get along with a lot of people. Frank is not me. I don't want to fight him. He's a very nice guy. I'm gonna leave again. No. No, no, no. The average lifespan of an underwater welder is 35 to 40 years. Isn't that the same thing with, because my sister's an ER doctor. Average lifespan of an ER doctor. Oh, that's not as much as let's see. Primary care physicians had the highest mean age at death of 80 years, while emergency medicine had the lowest at 58. So, like, if you were an ER doctor versus a primary care physician, it literally takes 20 years off of your life. The exceptionally shorter life expectancy of emergency physicians is considered an outlier. You have to keep in mind how insane that is, because these doctors have a lot of money, too. So, like, you're wealthy and you're dying 20 years early. I'm guessing it's just due to stress. Like, you just constantly see people. I mean, you see people die every day, right? Not to mention, I think the suicide rate of ER doctors is like way higher than other medical professions too. I'm sure that's part of it. They generally work crazy hours as well. I mean, probably. I know that once you're an attending doctor, you can kind of work as much or as little as you want, but I can tell you from experience with my sister that what are they called? What is the word? She's in her residency. Is she a resident? Is that it? Yeah, like the residents actually work unholy hours. And they make no money either. Just make up a word for it. Oh, you're right. Some Shakespeare type shit. Residency. You're a medical resident? Oh, that's hype. Yeah, my sister's in her... I think she was nominated for and might be the chief resident next year at her hospital. And then she has one more year of residency before she applies to, be an attending at some other hospital. What kind of hours does your sister work? I'm not entirely sure, but it's a lot. They're 12-hour shifts, and sometimes they'll just do them like back-to-back days in a row. Some weeks are like 60 hours a week. Probably more. And they make like 60 to 70K, which like for the hours they're putting in is very little, but then when they graduate and they become an attendant, that's what I'm saying. The system makes no sense. When you're a resident, you work like 60 hours a week, and you make like 60, 70K a year, and you're just constantly, you have no life, you have no time to do anything. And then they become residents, or they become attendings, and then they just make infinite buku bucks and work the same or less hours with more control and agency, which is like, the bridge between those two things is so extreme, right? I feel like they're just being taken advantage of. What is it? Think about how much it takes to become proficient at something as hard as medicine, and then how risky it is to employ someone who isn't proficient yet. I mean, yeah. I mean, weed out the bad eggs. I mean, I would be surprised if a lot of people didn't make it through residency. Although I could be wrong. The reason why is you're going through 10 years of school to get to that point anyway. So, like, backing out in the last 2 years would be really surprising, I think. Like, yeah, exactly. The bad eggs are weeded out before or during med school, I would imagine. But it would be crazy to, like, do 10 years of work, go through med school, go through your residency, and then just be like, either I don't want to do this, or I just, for whatever reason, you just stop. That's crazy. Not really when you consider the amount of student loan debt they have after school. Yeah, but like, okay, so doctors have insane student loans. Like, if you don't get a nice scholarship to undergrad or med school, like, you are paying a ton of money for many years to do that. The benefit is, though, when you actually make it out of that, you make fucking crazy money. So, like, you could pay off, seriously, you could pay off hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans, like, very quickly. Whereas, for example, I think that's a better scenario than, like, most kids just graduating high school, going to college, getting student loans for all of it, and then, like, what's happening nowadays is, like, what happened, like, even when I was a kid, is, like, if you graduated college with a degree, you would get a good job. Now that's not necessarily true. So, like, now people have these student loans. They're not even, like, in quotes, guaranteed good jobs depending on their degree after school. And then now they're, those people are super fucked. My solution was just to start streaming video games. That will work for anyone who tries it, and it was easy too, and repeatable. We were told if you go to college, get your degree, you'll have a good job and live a comfortable life. Now that's just the literal opposite of the truth. Yeah. I got lucky and got into IT as a college dropout. Yeah, I mean, I did that too. I got into IT for a bit because the money was just so insane. And, like, I played a lot of games, so I had some, like, general understanding of computers and stuff. And that was definitely a good job for a bit, for sure. Have you thought to do a Max tries to get a job with a music degree thing? Yeah, that would not go well. Although, I don't know. I think like most jobs, as long as you got any college degree, if you have because the real thing is work experience. Like, dude, if I was hiring for a job, I would take someone with even like 6 months of work experience and good recommendations over anyone with a fucking degree. I don't know. And maybe that's what's happening now and why people are feeling like their college degrees aren't worth it. Really depends on what job, though. Yeah. No, people think they're not worth it because jobs want a bachelor's degree and pay 45K. Oh, that makes sense. So they're still requiring the good job, but these big corporations have learned how little they have to actually pay people. I mean, esports was like this for a while. Esports was like zero, like basically they would just prey on people that wanted to work in esports, and because of that, they could pay them so much less, like a passion thing. Like that was definitely a thing. But then like the requirements would still be high, right? So like if that's happened to the whole country where you need to have like obviously it's like companies are just doing what they're able to do, right? It's like when you're picking people for your Mythic Plus dungeons, right? If you make a key, you don't have to pick random X spec. Whatever the best comp is, there will be like 3 choices at every single slot with all the good classes. And you can just pick it, you know? You don't have to pick something you might not want. You can just have it. It's all there. So like if you're a company, you're like, you can require a bachelor's degree because from how many people you're hiring, you know that you can get someone at minimum with that, even though it may not be required to do that job. Max, what's your opinion on universities that have degrees in esports? We have a few in the US and the UK now. I don't get it. So I want to point out that I don't work in esports really. Like I'm like the esports industry like works for me, if that makes sense. Like the esport industry exists because of people like I don't work in esports, but I know a lot of people who do. And I would imagine, and I think I have heard people point out the sentiment that that's completely bullshit, and like no one should get a degree in fucking esports. So don't take my word for it, but that seems to be that it's like kind of nonsense. But like I don't know, like I mean, if you got a degree and you actually worked with people in the industry and you got to learn so much more about it. But like there's so many parts of being in esports. Like what is an esports degree? Like a lot of the times like you're like a graphic designer or you're a sales and partnerships manager, or you're a marketer, or like you're just all those same general concepts apply to esports. So what the fuck is an esports degree? Like what does it even mean? Are you going to be like a higher level esports person and you're going to be a project manager or something? Let's see. Max programs esports. Bachelor's degree in esports from the University of North Dakota. Wait, oh, is it what I think? Is it a bachelor's degree in getting good at games? Like, it's not to actually work in, because like the thing at the beginning, it looks like a bunch of dudes just fucking gaming. Because that's turbo nonsense if that's the case. Here, let's see. Find your place in an exploding industry. Which, okay. I mean, they needed to take a bunch of VC money, and then these orgs are taking crypto money, which was like the sketchiest thing of all time. And now some of those orgs are fucking taking Saudi money for this, and gambling money. Like, it's never been, like, I don't know. It kind of seems like they're taking any of the money they can get. I don't know if that's necessarily exploding. Be a part of the future of gaming. As esports continues to grow in educational, private, and public industries, the need for specially trained individuals is rising. And University of North Dakota prepares students to become educators, coaches, managers, marketers, entrepreneurs, and much more. But like, what do you do? What is an esports degree? Okay, let's go dark mode. An esports degree is, which, by the way, if you are signing up for a degree in esports and that page isn't automatically in dark mode, that is a giant sign, in my opinion. For me, like, I would be like, okay, whoever wrote this, like, doesn't really get it, you know? Okay, here we go. An esports degree will give you the foundation to step into the gaming industry in a variety of ways. UND's esports bachelor's degree program will set you on the path to success in the esports field of your choosing. Enjoy being in the middle of the competition, working closely with a small team to achieve a goal, become an athlete or coach, and put yourself right in the action. This is fucking insane. So the only way to become a good esports player is to play the fuck out of games. Like, yeah, you could maybe learn some like team building skills, but none of that matters if you're not goated. And you know what you should be doing instead of getting this degree? Not going to college and just playing games 16 hours a day, and hopefully you live in a family where you can get away with that for long enough to be good at this. Let's see. Are you more of a big picture person? Skilled at organization? Find your place as a general esports manager, graphic designer, or marketer on the business side, helping put together some of the biggest tournaments in the world. Okay, so this is maybe more on-job placement, but like, I imagine there's a lot of people, like the majority of people working in the esports thing are this. Graphic designer, marketer on the business side, for sure. But like, I would maybe have to ask someone in TL, but like, I doubt that they've ever seriously taken someone with an esports degree. Like, you could just get a graphic design degree, or you could get a degree in marketing or finances or business management. All that stuff is teaching you the same things that would apply here. Customize your esports degree program. Esports performance, coaching, and health. Esports communications, media production, business. I mean, I don't know. Could someone create a program that actually brings in people with real on-job experience working in esports and can specifically describe the individual challenges that you would face at esports, learning these same basic concepts that we just talked about, but like in an esports world? Yeah, and it actually could make you better at this job than like a regular bachelor's degree. But I don't know if people are actually hiring for that. And I would bet 1% of these universities that offer an esports degree are not scamming you and actually trying to do that. That's probably my best guess. Wait, when you arrive at UND, you'll be set up to learn and compete across multiple levels in the esports space. What the fuck does that mean? They're just going to have you play a bunch of games? Like, dude, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Maybe, I don't know what this would say about me, but if I was running an esports org, at least right now, and someone applied with an esports degree, that would tell me that they're an idiot, and I would not hire them because they make bad decisions. God, I don't know. Maybe that's a little extreme, but you also might get the best hire ever, you know? I don't know. I think the biggest thing about this maybe being a scam is trying to talk about being a athlete or coach because of this esports degree. Because, and probably you don't even need to hear me say this, like, it is extremely obvious that anyone who is competing at any esport at any high level is someone who exclusively did not go to college and spent every waking minute of their life playing games because they lived in an extremely privileged situation where they could actually get away with that, didn't need to work, and could live at their parents' house for a while they were figuring their life out. That is true for almost every player that's ever played for my guild. And I imagine true for probably anyone who plays esports at the highest level. It's purely based on your life situation and if you're actually even able to do that. And then on top of that, being talented enough. I wonder if slurs and shit talking 101 is part of the curriculum. Oh, that's one of the funniest things I've ever read. Because I instantly started picturing what that class would look like. Like, they just, like, pull up, like, a regular PowerPoint of, like, different words you could call people if you were beating them in a game. But they're very professional about it, but the words are just, like, completely ridiculous. That's such a fucking good type. Oh, what a good chat. Oh, man. America is really fucked if living with parents is part of the privilege. That's true. Like, in a lot of part of the country, like, especially when I was growing up, man, maybe this is less true now. And I know, I'm assuming you're European. In Europe, at least, it seems that it's more common and accepted to live with your parents for a few years after high school or college or whatever. Dude, in America, at least when I was growing up and where I lived, you know, like white family, you know, like middle, not even upper middle class, just like middle class. Like, it was expected when you hit 18 that, like, you went to college and moved out, or you were like a failure. That's what every other parent would think of you if you didn't do that. I don't know if it's still like that, but that's how it felt when I was a kid. So yeah, it's very, very different, I think, than EU for sure. You are expected to help take care of your family when you are older. That's true here too. It depends on your culture, but that's definitely true here as well. But that's a way long time from now. Yeah, there's like absolutely nothing wrong, and nothing should be wrong with, like, wanting to stay with your parents for a few years to help get yourself on the right path. Or really just in general, as long as you can stand it. I moved back in with my parents when I was in my 20s, and I stayed there for as long as I could, and man, did I want to get the fuck out of there. Maybe some of you guys have gone through something similar. Like, I had to get the fuck out of there. But yeah, yeah, you should do that, and you shouldn't feel shamed for doing it either. You should take advantage of that for as long as you can, or as long as you can stand it. What is it? Me and the wife stayed with her parents to save money before buying a house, and God, it was rough 6 months. Yeah. I think Bubba's doing something really smart right now. Bubba and his wife are... They bought a house a while ago, and then I think they moved out of that house to build construction, like to build a second story to it, and then they moved back in, I think, with one of their parents. And then they're renting out the other part of the house while they're building it, and then they're just going to move back into that top house and still rent out the bottom. That's some making moves kind of shit. And it's really fucking smart. Here we go. You found a master's degree. Let's see. Miami University. Is this Miami of Ohio? Online or hybrid master of esports management. An esports management program turns your passion for gaming into an exciting career. Miami University's Master of Esports Management degree, available both online and hybrid, gives you a solid foundation in all esports functions, including tournament and facility management, branding, marketing, sponsorship, team management, performance psychology and coaching, recruiting, finance, business models, media rights, and legal broadcasting, and more. Okay, so everything they just mentioned sounds like stuff that is really, really fucking important for working at esports. The only problem is that working in esports, your job might be one of these things. In fact, most of the time, it would be exactly one of them. There are esports performance coaches. There are team managers. There are people who work in branding and marketing. There are people who manage the facility. I know the names of these people. There are pictures of their face are in my head right now at Team Liquid. There are people who work on sponsorships, usually the same thing with wherever they had branding and marketing, sponsor managers, stuff like that. Like, all these are separate jobs. And why would you, unless you were going to be like a higher level esports person, why would you need to know all this? And higher level esports people are not being given jobs because they have a master's in this. They're giving jobs because they've worked in the industry for a long time, right? You would rather just, yeah, it's just you would take, here's the problem with this. You would take 6 months of job experience or intern experience in any of these areas over a master's degree to learn a little bit about all of them. And they're all separate degrees, right? You know what I will say is at least this master's degree isn't a fucking scam like this other one where they're trying to imply that you can be an esports athlete by just playing a bunch of fucking games. Like, that is fucking, I feel so bad for anyone that got tricked by that, because that's just fucking lunacy. This at least makes sense for the business side of esports, but it's like, just, I don't know, these are all individual things. You're better off getting a master's in performance psychology, or better off getting a master's in branding and marketing if you want to, than esports management, you know? Maybe an esports degree is the trick to parents into letting you game. Oh, maybe that's why it exists. You're a kid who's 18 and you don't really want to go to college, right? But your parents kind of want you to, so you got to do it, right? At least in America, that's how it is. But you don't really know what you want to focus on. You know, you just kind of want to play games. So you get your parents to pay for your college, and you send them they send you to a university where you can major. You send them to the University of North Dakota where you can just fucking game, and your parents will pay for you to, like, go to classes and shit. There's the angle I can actually... that situation, I bet, is most of the people who do this. I've met people like that. Bro, my freshman year college roommate did not leave our dorm room the entire semester. He never went to a single class. His dad was a professor, so he got free tuition. And he was just staying there, and he just played video games all day. The whole time. He just played video games all day. Never went to class, ever. Just fucking chilled in there all day. He also ate bouillon cubes. Fucking wild guy. Paying $60K a year for your kid to get an esports degree. Dude, I remember I was doing some, like, after college shit when I, like, started doing IT. I went to, like, this university to, like, learn some IT shit. And there was a guy in my classes with me that just, like, so openly didn't care about being there. And he's like, yeah, I'm just here because my parents want me to go to college. And they're paying, like, so much money. And the amount that he didn't give a fuck was, like, impressive. Like, I thought I was a degenerate, man, and I'm just looking at this guy like, holy, this guy is just a fucking loser, man. Literally just be like, I'm not going to do, like, you'd be in a group project with him, and he's like, guys, I'm not going to do anything. Like, I don't want to be here. Just like, Jesus, man. Just talk with your dad and be like, Dad, I don't want to do this. And if he makes you go, just like, don't show up, you know? I'm going to head out to watch Vancouver and Edmonton game 1. Any thoughts or predictions? Nah, I think Edmonton's the better team. Edmonton looks so much better than they did last year, and they're just also playing better. Vancouver, the last half of the year, hasn't looked the same at all. I don't care about Edmonton at all. I will say I'm a big Connor McDavid fan. I mean, he's just a fucking incredible hockey player. And again, I told you before, I'm not biased towards any like teams or areas or cities, but I like watching star players be great. So, you know, most of the star players, I love watching them play. I would just root for Edmonton just for the same reason as I just want to watch Connor McDavid play playoff hockey more than I want to watch other people. So him playing longer would be ideal as fuck. Max, I waited tables and bartended while going to college. Got to live in a sweet studio apartment off campus and that had an eat-in kitchen. Man, did I feel like king shit having my own place to bring a date to. Yeah, I did that too. I think it was my sophomore year of college. I like got a little apartment. It was actually really big though, and it didn't cost any money. It was just because the price to live in Louisville was just so cheap. Like I rented this place for $400 a month, and it was like a very large 1-bedroom. Like it had a small kitchen, a small bathroom, and then 2 massive rooms that were like the same size. It was so fun. I made more bartending than I did my first 3 years as an engineer. Dude, okay, isn't the bartending tier list like any bartenders in chat? It's like, I believe it is fine dining. Isn't fine dining like #1 place? Because you get a corkage fee, right? Like if you're in a fine dining restaurant, the sommelier like talks to the people at the table, and then I think the som and also the bartender, they make like a bottle fee just by handing that bottle to the som. Sometimes it's done differently. This is what I was told. And I don't know if you get a percentage of like cocktails you have to make or something like that. What is it? Okay, I'm a sommelier currently. I make 3% of all wine sales. But do you know how much the bartenders make who just hand you the bottle basically? Like for example, if you're in a they don't make anything off wine. Oh, that's really surprising. I was told that like in a lot of fine dining places, because they don't order a lot of cocktails and they order a lot of wine, the bartenders actually make money there based on the corkage fees of the, or not corkage fees usually when you bring your own wine. I just mean like let's see. Max, my lead servers at a fine dining restaurant I was the GM of made $100K plus a year. Lead bartenders were $100K as well. Was that like based off of the tips they would receive, a generalization, or is that how much salary they're making? Yeah, I was about to say the salary without tips, there's no fucking shot. Here we go. Fine dining. I made 10% on every bottle of wine and corkage fee. Glass wine, I was tipped out of servers by 1% of all liquor sales. Okay. So it's like, okay, so maybe it's not fine dining then. Is the most you'll make as a bartender like just making mixed drinks? Because I imagine if you're working at a bar and all you do is pour beer out of a tap, that has to be like the lowest tier, right? I imagine you get the least tips for that. Like at least, like I think you're more likely to tip someone. Maybe I'm wrong about this. You're more likely to tip someone who like made some super complex mixed drink than you are someone who just literally poured a beer and you did it and you tilted the glass so it didn't like foam too much. Because if that's true, then it's so much easier to be a bartender at a beer place because just so much easier. Bar makes money based off the guests they get at their bar plus a tip out from the servers they make from... Oh, because like people will sit at the bar at these restaurants as well if there isn't open tables, and then... Or maybe just in general, they'll sit at the bar. And then they just make money because they're serving them. That makes sense. All I know is that tips definitely depend. So I worked at Domino's when I was a little younger. And I know that this girl that I worked with was very attractive. And she would do deliveries just the same as the rest of us. And she would come back with hundreds of dollars more in tips than we would. I couldn't fucking believe it. Like, I mean, I wasn't even making awful money. Like, you'd make a couple $100 in tips a night. She would be making like $500. I guess just like when you bring a pizza to someone's door, this was before the pandemic, right? So like you didn't leave it at the thing. Like if they bought and didn't pre-tip, like they would write in the tip when you got there, like that kind of shit. And they would just see the hot girl and just write more. I mean, that's just all it is. Did she have to share it? Nah, you keep your own tips. She was delivering more than pizza if you smell me. No, there's no fucking... Guys, you guys are so porn-brained. That is not what was happening. There's a 0% chance that was happening. It's just guys will see the fucking... They just see hot girl and they give more money. That's all. What is it, Max? I worked at a sports bar and it was not even that close to a big of a gap. It wasn't like... Okay, I would make like 200 and she would make like... 500 and she did make 500 one night. That's why I referred to that. It was probably like, I mean, I don't know, be more than... I didn't work with her that. I only worked there for a few months, but it was like probably around double. Are you guys on the train of she was definitely doing some extra work? I just highly doubt it. I don't know. She probably also sold weed as well. There were 4 friends who all drove pizza delivery from a specific Papa John's. They all sold weed. That was the thing. You ordered from that one if you wanted... Wait, so you would order pizza from that place and they would come to your house also with weed? That's an insane business model. Like, obviously you couldn't do that legally, even now that weed is legal in a lot of places because, like, it's really heavily... what's the word? It starts with an R. I don't know, whatever. Regulated, that's it. But like that is an insane... Because, like, think about the likelihood of you wanting to buy weed if you are also ordering a bunch of pizza. Like, those two things are fucking connected. Those are super connected. In fact, you may have run out of weed, which is why you wanted the pizza. You just smoked it all. Right? That'd be a felony. I think it'd be a felony even in places where you could actually buy weed legally. Because, like, I mean, there's a few dispensaries around here, and if you ever go in there, they, like, you can only buy in cash. You can't use credit cards. Or I think you can use debit cards, maybe. I don't know why it's so restricted. I haven't looked into why. I've been into, like, one dispensary since I've been into LA, and it was getting edibles. Which, I'm just not an edibles guy, man. I've never been able to be high off marijuana and not have been too high or not high at all. I've never just been, like, content with being high. I just have only had the bad feeling of being way too high or, like, not having enough to feel anything. Like, that, it's either, like, that line is razor thin or, like, my brain is bricked bad. Just smoke a J that would ease you in. No, I don't, like, have a desire to, like, smoke weed, really. It's just something I've noticed from partaking in
a weed every now and then. Probably like once or twice every couple years. Smoking weed with ADHD is always lame. Oh, maybe that's a thing. I never thought about that. Maybe I've never looked into the relation of those two things, but maybe that's why I can't enjoy it. That's why I do black tar heroin. It's been a good stream, guys. It's been good. Did you go to U of L? Yeah, for a few years. I actually liked the University of Louisville. It was kind of a vibe. Just do cocaine? Nah, I've never tried cocaine. I think I probably would have, like, a couple years ago. Just because, like, you'd be at a party. I don't know. Anytime I'm at a party and people are doing anything more than drinking or maybe, like, smoking a little weed, I just don't want to be there. It's just not my vibe. Like, drinking, smoke a little weed, I'm chilling. As soon as it's any more than that, I'm like, there's just an overwhelming feeling of, like, I'm not supposed to be here, and I leave. Yeah. I also have a few friends who were addicts and recovered from that, and I'm just going to learn the lesson from them to not really fuck with that kind of shit. But with the heroin, though, that's fucking me, you know? Get me in there. Let's fucking go. What is it? I can't believe you aren't on WoW enjoying this bug-infested patch. Is it still buggy? Oh, I mean, yeah, that was like the thing recently, right? With Destrolocks. Apparently, Destrolocks, like, they were target capped on their resource generation, but it turned out it was just a bug, but people thought it was like a hidden nerf. Hello, Destrolocks. With the release of this new patch, the scaling of Inferno had become heavily reduced when Rain of Fire affects more than 5 targets. We investigated this and found it was a change that was originally implemented with Season 4 of Shadowlands and later became unintentionally broken with the launch of Dragonflight and went unnoticed. Interesting. It's like probably something that... Oh, it's probably... okay, do you guys remember when like certain abilities weren't working properly in Shadowlands Season 4? Like Ignite wasn't working, you know, just like there's a bunch of buttons that were just like fucking bugged insanely bad. It kind of happened this time too, but like I bet it was something with Rain of Fire, but it didn't actually affect it at all. But then like they did Dragonflight talents, which changed Rain of Fire in some like spaghetti code way, and then now something that happened back then affected it now. That's not surprising at all. I don't really know what it is about Season 4s, but when they like rescale the old raids, it very frequently just fucks a bunch of abilities. Is it a bug that I haven't gotten a single item in 3 dungeons? Well, when you do a dungeon, it gives you... If you're doing Mythic Plus, well, it depends on the key level, how many pieces you get. But you should get 2 pieces at the end between 5 people. So it's like pretty normal that you would do 3 and not get 1. But also it makes you really mad. So what I do, you guys should try this. Whenever I'm getting geared in a patch, I usually stack my group with people who all have the gear that I want. Right? And then if they get it, they just fucking give it to me. I feel like that's not a special privilege and is something that is probably able to be done by everyone. You should try that. It is hard good. Very authentic. Very pro bono. What is it? I've not enjoyed the Mythic Plus changes as someone who wanted to just do chill, casual content this season. Well, what do you mean Mythic Plus changes? Like, do you mean the key level changes? Like how zeros are now what used to 10s used to be, but they're not timed, and stuff. I could kind of see that was from YouTube chat. Yeah, I could kind of see that. Like, for example, let's say you only did Mythic plus 5s before, and that was like your vibe. Now, like, that doesn't really exist anymore, right? Like, it's like it kind of just goes from heroics, which are harder now. Maybe are heroics the new plus 5s? Because zeros are 10s, but they're not timed, and that's kind of the point. The times were one of the biggest restrictions for people like that. They hated the timer. I think heroics are old Mythic 0. Okay, so I mean that there is some world where that makes sense, right? Like the timer's there, but the difficulty level, there's kind of a missing piece of content in between 0 and 10 now. Mythic 0s are piss easy. Easy and hard are relative. Max, I would say 3 to 4% of players have the option to gear stack in Mythic Plus. Did you just make that number up? You just hard made that up, right? It's probably even less than that. Also, I was completely kidding when I was talking about the you guys should gear stack your group things. That was... hopefully that was obvious. Can you validify that stat? Are you fucking making fun of me, or are you trying to spread the good word of validify? I can't tell. If it's the first one, fuck off, and it's the second one, thank you. All right, Max, yes, my brother decided to come back to retail. We did a heroic up to eye level 480 and then went into Mythic 0. There's a huge gap there. I think what Blizzard wants players to do is, like, that gap is there, but you don't have to do it all at once, and it's not timed. But it is interesting to see if people don't really like that. Like, because it's, like, objectively not super challenging at any eye level, so it's going to require more than you, and I think the timer was a big point of friction in the past. But it would be interesting to see how more... I mean, you're going to get way more feedback on that in the new expansion, for sure. What you're going to see in the new expansion, and we've talked about this before, WoW players just don't understand how things are different until they go through it themselves. You can post about it a million times. Everyone knew AUG was coming. It was talked about ad nauseum. And then AUG came out, and people were getting kicked from their groups because they thought they were just devastation evokers that were doing less damage. Like, people just have no clue until they see it for a while. A lot of people didn't play Season 4, right? So this new Mythic Plus system is going to happen in the War Within, and I think the War Within is going to be massive. I think so many people are going to play the War Within, and people aren't going to know how the Mythic Plus system works right away, and there are going to be some dudes doing Mythic Zeros that are like, oh, this is what I've always done at the beginning of the expansion. I just do some Mythic Zeros. And they're going with leveling gear, and they're going to get slaughtered and not understand how it was changed. And I'm just interested to see how the community takes something like that, for sure. Like, because those still exist. That Mythic 0 content still exists. It's just what heroics are now. Right. And heroics are just... heroics were kind of meaningless, so I'm glad that they mean something now. Max, what do you think they will do for 20-year anniversary? Give everyone 1 year of subs for free. That's not going to happen, by the way. I was making that up. That's kind of an interesting thought, assuming Heroic Week still has the eye level cap and Mythic Plus. Mythic Zeros are going to be at eye level cap. I don't think they're going to eye level cap Mythic Plus, because the previous eye level cap in Mythic Plus occurred before what current Mythic Zeros are now. It was like plus 7s. Everyone gets a free Honda. Oh, the guy responded in YouTube chat. Heroics are a joke, and 0 to 2 are a massive jump. 0 to 2 shouldn't be a Is 0 to 2 a massive jump? It should just be from like a 10 to a 12 from before. Is it bigger than that? I haven't played. I'm genuinely asking. I haven't played. I hope they don't do this again. I hope they don't do this again in the War Within. Oh, they definitely are. The squish at the top is okay, but they don't make the jump from heroic to 0 this huge. Yeah, that might be something they have to look at. That too, a weekly lockout on 10s feels weird. Heroics don't mean anything still. Just there to make you grind resources and wait in a queue. No. Well, I mean, they give better gear than they did previously, like at the beginning of the expansion, but... do you think Blizzard Microsoft will ever make a bundle with WoW sub and Game Pass? Probably not free WoW sub with Game Pass, but some discount for the two. I don't know. So why I think they wouldn't do that is subscriptions are the most broken way to make money of all time. People just forget to cancel them and have them forever. And like giving a discount on that is like a fucking ton of money. But also they want to grow Game Pass, and Game Pass has been extremely successful. Actually, I'm interested in how much money Game Pass makes them. Like, Game Pass has been really successful for gamers. Game Pass is a very well-liked thing for the gaming community. But I'm interested in how... Like, I wonder... Like, for example, Microsoft is profitable. But I wonder if the Game Pass is profitable. Like, I imagine the Game Pass might still be in the grow phase. So what you do in the grow phase of something new in tech, whether you're a new startup or you're a new thing, like Game Pass isn't really still new, but like, you know, still in the newer phase of being a thing, is like you would spend more money on it than you would expect to make. It's not supposed to be profitable yet. You would want to grow it, which might mean paying for a bunch of games to be on there to make that pass more likely, so people get used to having Game Pass and they're used to a certain level of quality for it. But by doing that, they might not make any money on it, right? And they're trying to like get enough people on Game Pass, and then they scale that back, and then try to hope to keep most of the subscribers to make it possible, right? I don't know if they're still in that phase. But the thing is Game Pass, as much as like sometimes you're getting insane value from Game Pass, like in a month, like 2 games that you want to play come out and you get to play it for free. But like think about how many months you have Game Pass where there's no new game coming out and they're just raking in those subscriptions, you know? What is it, Max? There is no way Game Pass is anywhere near profitable. They have to spend so much money licensing games. I think it's not profitable either, but I bet it's closer than you think, just because subscriptions are super OP. Game Pass is about 7% monthly income for the company. Validified stat. Well, I can't tell if you're joking or if you're serious, because... Well, no, you are serious, because validify is just a word in our mind, so... Phil Spencer literally said it's profitable. It makes 15% of Microsoft's revenue. That is extremely impressive, if that's true. That's like... If that's true, then Game Pass has to be one of the most successful things that's ever happened in gaming, because, like... Making 15% of fucking Microsoft's revenue? Max, it made $230 million in 1 month. It's very successful. That's fucking insane. If that's true. I'm not going to do my own research because I'm just a stupid streamer, but if that's true, that's crazy. Because, like, it's also very well liked. Like, there are not a lot of Game Pass haters. Like, Game Pass is a publicly very well-perceived thing. For it to make that much money and be that well-liked is incredible. Shout out Mike Ibarra. I don't know if Mike Ibarra made the Game Pass, but I know that he was in leadership there and, like, heavily spearheaded that. What is it? He said it's 15% of their revenue, which we all know just means it's not profitable. Well, the company could be profitable and it could be 15% of your revenue, but Game Pass itself may not be profitable. Yeah. Except he directly said that Game Pass is profitable. But did he prove it, though? Guarantees in life, death, taxes, and Mike Ibarra firing off a tone-deaf tweet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Is it... Dude, Devo Lore fucking laid into him, by the way. He tweeted... I see lots of... So, I don't actually know what happened. I guess Xbox laid off some people. Is that what happened? And then Phil
let's see. So what Mike Ibarra said was, I see a lot of shots at Phil over today's Xbox announcements. I get it, but knowing him as a human, I know this hurts him as much as anyone else. I can't speak for all the leadership there, but I do know him, and I do know what he is likely going through. I'm not trying to defend the decisions. I think we all get ourselves into situations that are tough and unexpected. It's part of the job. Okay, I don't even need to read the rest of this. I can just tell what people are going to feel from this first thing. So I understand what he's saying, but what it comes off as, especially because like big corpo boss guy and speaking about another one, is it's almost, here's the vibe that I think people are going to take from this is, oh, don't worry, it's just as hard on him as it is all the people he laid off. That's not really what he's saying, but that's what it kind of sounds like. And that's like a really bad look. Because, like, imagine, like, laying people off and being like, bro, it hurts to do this. I mean, guys, hey, I do this. I have to demote people from our guild as a leader from this guild. And this is their job. This is their main passion. And it's not like they can get paid to do this anywhere else. And they're like, you know, losing some of their friends potentially. And sometimes it's not even because they've done anything wrong. It's just because we found someone slightly better or are trying to recruit and replace and improve, right? And it is seriously the hardest thing in my life to do this. I hate my entire life for days before and after I have to do something like this, but it's part of the job, right? I would never make it sucks. It's the worst thing I ever do, but it is not worse than any of the people that are actually losing their job, right? But if someone was like, you know, not shots at Phil, but if someone was like, yo, I know Max laid some people and demoted some people today, but I know that this upsets him and sucks. I think the issue is that that's obvious. And what are you actually even trying to say here, you know? Yeah, I just think making the argument or making it sound like, and I don't think that's actually what he said, but it just comes off as like, this is, because like, look at his thing. Oh no, some rich guy might be having kind of a bad day, frowny face, fuck off. Imagine thinking the millionaire suit cutting jobs is hurt just as much as the people now uncertain if they'll have a fucking home next week. Imagine being that fucking stupid. You know, so like real shit. But he's entirely, like I said, the reason I didn't read the rest of this is I think all of the responses to this are purely based on the beginning, which is, I know this hurts him as much as anyone else. He means emotionally. I can tell you that I literally fucking hate myself when I have to do something like this. I have no idea about anything about Phil Spencer, but if someone knew me personally, I am like a fucking husk of a human being when I have to do this, and I feel like a fucking sewer demon. Like, I just want to die when I do this. But every single person that I lay off or that can't raid here anymore feels worse than me. That's just objectively true. So, and no one would ever make that argument. I don't know if he's really making that argument here, but it just really sounds like it. What is it? The whole reason you even feel bad is them feeling bad anyways. Yeah. You have empathy, right? You're empathetic to them. That's why it feels bad to do. Okay. But yeah. So Mike Ybarra got owned for this. 2.9K quote tweets, legendary number. Yeah, just fucking clown post. What a banger. Oh, won't somebody please think of the $1 million CEO? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is questionable. Like, what did he think was going to happen here? I mean, honestly, you know what's funny? In the corpo land, let's say Mark Ybarra knew this was the exact... This is how fucked up America is, maybe. Let me cook for a second. Let's say Mike Ybarra even knew how disliked this post would be by people for the exact reason it was. I wonder if this is still going to end up being a positive for him, because Phil will remember he posted this one day and give him some kind of favor or job or something, and that will be worth significantly more than all of the hate he received today. Just a thought. But that's just assuming that he even assumed that he was going to get disowned by it. Don't execs have to go through some sort of media training? I guess Ybarra was too busy grinding IO instead. Yeah, remember when people were huge fans of Mike Ybarra in the general WoW gaming community, and it was just because he played the game? That was it. Literally didn't know anything else about this guy. There was no public information on him whatsoever. They just knew that he did keys. They were like, one of us. Which, I mean, you know, that kind of stuff. I think it was just the fact that he was doing high keys. I actually pretty strongly think and believe that execs, or just, I don't know, just want to say devs. I think devs playing their own game should be a requirement. And not like they're playing it because they're required to, but like you hire people that just love the game and play it. But I think how good they are at the game is completely irrelevant. Like absolutely and completely irrelevant. And I think a lot of players, at least in the WoW universe, I think to them, they think it's important that they're very good. I just don't think it matters at all. Are you assuming he posted that entirely by himself? There are agencies that manage public media stuff. I am like almost 100% confident that he wrote this himself, yeah. I mean, where does he even work right now? He doesn't even work anywhere. Who the fuck? You think he has a fucking personal social media manager for like him? Ain't no fucking way. Yeah, he just tweeted that shit for sure. Dude, anytime I want to laugh at tweets, I just go to Magic Johnson's Twitter. Dude tweets some funny ass shit. Just doesn't even sound like a real human. Please find one. It'll be like, the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets tonight. Oh, here we go. If you missed Timberwolves' victory over the Nuggets, you missed Anthony Edwards and his dominant 43-point performance. He put on an amazing show, scoring everywhere on the floor. As a team, the Timberwolves have been outstanding with 4 guys finishing in double figures, including this guy coming off the bench to add 16 points. Usually there's an exclamation point at the end, and that's like his normal tweet, his normal Twitter. Like, I just can't believe it's actually him. Wait, what was the top comment? Thanks, Magic. Been waiting 2 days for these stats. Magic, that game started 48 hours ago. Oh, shit. I love that I just have a notepad that says fine dining and making mixed drinks. All right, anyways, there should be an alpha build tomorrow on board. See ya.